They told me they come to get the kids. You're not getting my kids.
They came and got the kids in the first place because Fred, Mr. Brooks is the one that called defects on me.
That's my family. I'm gonna break my own family up.
He wanted to take my kids away from me.
He wakes me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and tells me he's going to go have sex with another woman.
What?
Yeah, so
You wake her up to tell her that?
First of all, we was just friends, so I can leave
just
and
because I
go
was asleep,
wherever.
that justifies what you did?
And you said thank you because I don't want my son to grow up without a dad. And you don't know for certain which one is your child's biological father because you just admitted that you slept with them at the same time.
Yes. In the latest twist of Who's Your Daddy, Mr. Brooks has dragged Miss Gooley into the hallowed halls of paternity court, aiming to drop the mic with a DNA truth bomb that he's the pops of her 18-year-old son, Mr. McDonald. Miss Gooley, on the other hand, while admitting to playing the field, is hell-bent on proving Mr. Brooks couldn't possibly be the father. The plot thickens as both sides are desperate for some Maury-level revelations, especially since they've all been awkwardly reunited with Mr. McDonald after a lengthy custody battle lost when he was just a tiny tot. You won't believe what's coming up next.
Mr. Brooks, you summoned your ex-girlfriend, Ms. Gooley, to paternity court to prove that you are the father of her 18-year-old son, Mr. McDonald. Ms. Gooley, you admit you cheated on Mr. Brooks all those years ago and are here today to prove to Mr. Brooks that he is not father of your son. Both of you are desperate for these answers because you've recently been reunited with Mr. McDonald, whom you lost custody of at the tender age of 1.
Amidst the drama, Mr. Brooks takes us on a sentimental journey back to the delivery room, where he swears the bond was sealed the moment he stopped Mr. McDonald's waterworks with a mere whisper. It's like he had the baby whisperer cheat code, convinced from that first shh that he was undoubtedly the dad. The tension escalates in the following moments.
I watched him pull my baby out. I watched him cry. They couldn't get him quiet. Told the doctors and the nurse, give me my baby. E-man, this daddy. And he shot up. And that when I knew he was my son, day one.
You were in a relationship with her at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
Dive deeper and you'll find a decade of lovish and drama with Miss Gooley and Mr. Brooks, featuring a commitment level that wouldn't even qualify for a Facebook status. Miss Gooley, owning up to her Casanova tendencies, doesn't let that deter her mission to cross Mr. Brooks off the potential daddy list. Meanwhile, Mr. Brooks, perhaps a little too invested in the storyline of a daytime soap opera, spent the pregnancy under the impression that he was the leading man in this baby-malking saga, and just when you think you've seen it all, the next revelation will truly astonish you.
How long was that relationship?
10 years.
Was it a committed relationship?
No, Your Honor.
Did you consider yourselves boyfriend and girlfriend?
I mean,
Yes.
we were boyfriend and girlfriend, but I mean, I wasn't faithful.
During the pregnancy, did you ever tell Mr. Brooks that he may not be
No,
the biological father?
No, Your Honor, I didn't.
Allowed him to believe that he was Mr. McDonald's biological father the entire pregnancy?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
The narrative shifts to the unforgettable day Mr. McDonald was escorted away by DFCS, a scene more dramatic than a season finale cliffhanger. Mr. Brooks vividly describes the traumatic event, passionately refuting Miss Gooley's spicy accusation that he was the mastermind behind calling DFCS. Amidst a whirlwind of finger-pointing and raised voices, both parties energetically dispute the bewildering circumstances leading to their son's removal. It's like watching a tennis match, but with more emotional baggage and fewer short shorts. You won't believe what's coming next.
So at some point, you say he was taken away from you.
Remember that day just good, January the 23rd. So she called me, get the kids out the house. I said, for what? I said, they finna go to my cousin anyway. They told me they come to get the kids. You're not getting my kids.
They came and got the kids in the first place because Fred, Mr. Brooks is the one that called defects on me.
That's my family.
He
I'm gonna break my own family up.
He wanted to take my kids away from me.
Miss Gooley, in a twist worthy of a daytime drama, throws a curveball suggesting Mr. Brooks might not be equipped for fatherhood in the most literal sense. She questions the biological feasibility of him being the father, given their long, unprotected relationship that has been barren of offspring. Mr. Brooks, however, remains unshaken, holding on to his belief with the tenacity of a soap opera led determined to prove his paternity, come what may. The next revelation is just around the corner.
Ms. Gooley, at what point did you decide to tell him? Because you had said, admittedly, I let him believe this was his biological child.
A year ago.
It was a year ago?
Oh, it was not.
Yeah, it was.
As soon as that baby came out my stomach, I looked at Fred and the first thing out my mouth was, is he yours?
You a lie.
In the hospital?
You a lie.
Before they even cut the cord.
You said that because what, you wanted him to look baby and see if he thought it looked like him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Enter stage left Mr. McDonald, now 18 and presumably with his own theme music, takes the stand. He delivers a monologue about his unwavering belief in Mr. Brooks being his father, a moment so ripe with emotion you could practically hear violin strings in the background. He then shares the soap opera twist of hearing from another man claiming to be his biological father, turning the courtroom into a stage for a dramatic reveal that leaves everyone gasping for the next episode. The story takes an even wilder turn next. Stay tuned.
I'd like to hear from Mr. McDonald. Jerome, will you please escort him into the courtroom?
We go right up to the witness stand, sit next to the judge.
Thank you for joining us today, Mr. McDonald. I want to ask you a few questions. Mr. Brooks states that he believes he's your biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe Mr. Brooks is your father?
Yes, ma'am.
We're finally reunited with your mother.
It was kind of nervous at the beginning, but as we sat down and talked during the visit,
In a courtroom packed with anticipation, the clock ticks to 1:45 p.m. All eyes are glued to the judge, who, with a dramatic pause, reveals the long-awaited DNA test results.
Brooks, you are his father.
All right!
The saga of Kavanaugh versus Bowles and McElliott kicks off, throwing us into a daytime TV-worthy paternity pickle with Miss Kavanaugh, Mr. Bowles, and Mr. McElliott at its juicy center. Miss Kavanaugh strides into court, aiming to untangle the paternal pretzel of her 3-week-old son, Malcolm, amidst a love triangle that would make a soap opera scriptwriter blush. Hold on, because the drama escalates from here.
Miss Kavanaugh, you and your mother are appearing in court today to prove paternity of your 3-week-old son, Malcolm. Now, you claim his biological father is Mr. Bowles, even though you admit to being intimate with another man, Mr. McElliott, during the window of conception.
Yes, Your Honor.
The plot thickens when Mr. Bowles, in a moment of CSI-level investigation, uncovers an open condom wrapper in Miss Kavanaugh's loo, sparking a spicy debate about trust, betrayal, and the birds and the bees that would make even a relationship counselor sweat. This wrapper revelation weaves in a whole new layer of Maury to the mystery of Malcolm's daddy drama. But just when you think you've seen it all, there's more.
Like probably 3 weeks later, maybe 2 weeks later, I found like an open condom wrapper in her bathroom.
Well,
she had already said that
just because
like, I was the only person she was having sex with, and so then I found
just
the wrapper.
because I had sex with him on the first night doesn't mean I have sex with everybody on the first night. I actually cared for him and had feelings for him. And then the condom that he's talking about, it was my friends that I worked with. Her and her boyfriend spent the night, and that was that.
She said she used it. She said it was with her ex.
Just when you think it couldn't get more telenovela, Miss Kavanaugh drops a bombshell confession. She fibbed about being in the family way to snag Mr. Bowles' attention, only to get gobsmacked by the reality of a bun in the oven after trying to cook up fake test results. This plot twist reveals the lengths she'd go to anchor Mr. Bowles to her ship, adding a dash of desperate rom-com to the mix, and you thought it couldn't get any more shocking.
And also, before she got pregnant, she actually lied about being pregnant maybe like some weeks before. She lied about it.
It's because I was very childish when I was talking to Mr. Bowles. Like, I really cared about him and I desperately wanted him. So when I did childishly try to fake a pregnancy test, I went to the store, got a pregnancy test, was going to take 2 negatives, turn it into a positive.
Take 2 negatives and turn it into a positive.
Yes, crack them open and turn them into a positive.
Oh, and put 2 of the lines together.
In a twist that feels straight out of a reality show script, Miss Kavanaugh shares the jaw-dropping tale of Mr. Bowles giving her a 3 a.m. wake-up call, not for a romantic rendezvous, but to say he's off to rendezvous with another. This revelation isn't just a plot twist, it's a heart twist, showcasing the emotional roller coaster Miss Kavanaugh rode during her pregnancy. If you thought this was shocking, brace yourself for what's coming next.
He wakes me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and tells me he's going to go have sex with another woman.
What?
Yeah, so
You wake her up to tell her that?
First of all, we was just friends, so I
so
can
just
leave
because
and
I
go
was asleep,
wherever.
that justifies what you did?
We wasn't together, so I can leave and go back to my house and do whatever I want.
This was about the first month that I was pregnant. And yes, I did chase him out of my house because I don't see why you would disrespect a woman that may be carrying your child like that. Or any woman.
Enter stage left Mr. McElliott, bringing with him a gust of fresh air and a sprinkle of old-school chivalry. He steps into the fray, ready to put his name on the birth certificate and wear the daddy badge for Malcolm, paternity question mark and all. This part not only tugs at the heartstrings, but adds a layer of moral lasagna, with Mr. McElliott ready to dive into the deep end of parenthood pool, no water wing. Hold on, the next revelation will twist the plot even further.
Oh.
I looked at the ultrasound. She told me that the ultrasound actually resembled my mother. I really couldn't understand how you can get facial features from an ultrasound, but
Regardless, the point is she was talking about the baby as if this child could be yours. So as you look at Malcolm, who do you think he looks like?
I want to say Mr. Bowles, but you can't always go on looks.
In a hilarious twist between 3:36 p.m. and 4:58 p.m., the big courtroom reveal hits. Mr. Bowles and Mr. McElliott aren't Malcolm's dads. Surprise. The courtroom's jaw drops to the floor, and Miss Kavanaugh's got some explaining to do. Cue the dramatic music as she dishes out apologies, turning the scene into a mix of shock, awe, and a little bit of oops.
Pertaining to whether Mr. Bowles or Mr. McElliott is the father of 3-week-old Malcolm Kavanaugh. Mr. McElliott, you are not his father. Mr. Bowles, you are not his father. Calm down.
I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to put you guys through all that.
So, Mr. Hudson throwing a curveball, claiming Ms. Bridges played a game of Who's Your Daddy with him, making him believe he was Jacory's bio-dad. Plot twist. She later admits to a rendezvous with Mr. X. Ms. Bridges fires back with gusto, standing her ground that Mr. Hudson is the father, no DNA test needed. Mr. Hudson walks us down memory lane, sharing tales of playing house during the pregnancy and his all-in approach to diaper duty and midnight feeds, showcasing his MVP status in Team Jacory. And just when you think it can't get any crazier, brace yourself for what's next.
Mr. Hudson, you claim the defendant led you to believe you were her son, Jacory's biological father, then dropped a bomb and admitted she slept with someone else. You're in court to prove you are not her son's father. Ms. Bridges, you admit to sleeping with another man, but claim that you have no doubt Mr. Hudson is your child's biological father.
Well, Your Honor, I was led to believe that I was Jacory's father because at the time that we were living together is the time that she became pregnant with the child.
The plot thickens even further as the drama intensifies when Mr. Hudson spills the tea about Ms. Bridges' bombshell revelation pre-Jacory's first cake smash, sparking doubts and a WWE-worthy showdown. This moment of truth shakes the very core of Mr. Hudson's daddy identity, tossing him into an existential crisis over his role in the family sitcom. But the drama doesn't end there. Hold on for an even more jaw-dropping twist.
So you say she dropped a bomb on you. Tell me about that.
It happened a little before his first birthday party. I invited her, I invited everyone to come. She didn't even show to his first birthday party that I planned for.
Because I was not gonna show because you had your ex-girlfriend there and I did not feel comfortable there being with her.
Ms. Bridges didn't even come.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did the baby come? Did he get to come?
Yes, Your Honor. I had him there myself.
Okay, so you brought him there yourself. Oh, handsome.
In an unbelievable turn of events, in a plot twist worthy of a Datum Emmy, Ms. Bridges confesses to a secret affair with Mr. Davis, aka potential daddy number 2, during a we were on a break phase. This bombshell throws a spanner in the works, propelling Mr. Davis onto the stage as a contender for the daddy crown in the ongoing saga of Maury Povich meets Shakespeare. You won't believe what happens next in this riveting saga.
You said that's why I did what I did. What did you do?
Cheated on him.
You did?
Yes.
Was it during the window of conception?
No, it was the time when I went away and I came back and I was on the social network and I seen so much stuff going on between him and this other little female.
You cheated with Mr. Davis, am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
As if the plot couldn't get any thicker, enter stage left Mr. Davis, dropping his own bombshell with the confidence of a man who's just matched with his doppelganger on Ancestry.com. He lays claim to the title of Jacory's Pops, citing a calendar of not-so-safe dates and a family photo where Jacory fits in better than an awkward teenager at a family reunion. His narrative weaves another thread into this complex tapestry of love, lies, and paternity puzzles. The intrigue doesn't stop here. The next revelation will leave you on the edge of your seat.
Do you believe you're Jacory's biological father?
Yes, I do, for several reasons. Me and Miss Bridges met, we hung out for a couple of months. We ended up having unprotected sex around about 3 times. I didn't know that she was pregnant. I looked on Facebook one day, like a year later, and I see a picture of her son. And immediately, I think her son looks like my nephew. About a year after that, she came to me. She's like, oh, well, can you tell me the times that we had sex? And I'm like, hey. So I gave her a ballpark or whatever.
Just when peace seems impossible, conflicting emotions and claims surface as Ms. Bridges and Mr. Davis discuss their interactions and the circumstances leading to the paternity test. This exchange sheds light on the confusion and emotional turmoil surrounding Jacory's paternity, underscoring the challenges of resolving such deeply personal and sensitive issues. Amid the tension, Mr. Davis jokingly suggests they consult a magic 8-ball for answers, while Ms. Bridges counters with a proposal to settle it in a dance-off. Their banter momentarily lifts the heavy air, hinting that maybe, just maybe, humor could be their unlikely mediator. But as the clock ticks, the reality of their situation sets back in, leaving them to wonder if their shared laughter could be the first step toward mutual understanding or just a brief respite in their ongoing saga. Stay tuned for what promises to be an unforgettable conclusion.
You came right back to me, and when I asked you why you asked the second time, you're like, it's because I think you might be his father.
Yes, you might be.
I have proof of that right here.
I slept with both of y'all at the same time.
What is this, sir?
Those are Facebook messages between her and I. The blue is me, the white is her. She wanted me to take the DNA test.
And you said thank you because I don't want my son to grow up without a dad. And you don't know for certain which one is your child's biological father because you just admitted that you slept with them at the same time.
Yes.
As the judge clears his throat, the courtroom hushes with anticipation. Ladies and gentlemen, he begins, the DNA test results are in, and they're more twisted than a pretzel at a yoga class.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Hudson, you are not his father. Jacory Hudson. Mr. Davis, you are not his father.
Can you believe what's about to happen? At the very start of the episode, Judge Lake introduces the case of Chapman versus Hayes, setting the stage for the emotional and complex paternity dispute that is about to unfold. In what promises to be a roller coaster of emotions, tissues, and probably a few laughable moments, we're all buckled up and ready to dive into the drama. Just when you thought it couldn't get any more intense, hold on.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Chapman versus Hayes.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Miss Chapman, you and the defendant have an older child together, but you've brought him to court to prove your 2-year-old son, Maurice Hayes Jr., is his.
This next revelation is astonishing. Ms. Chapman alleges that Mr. Hayes was initially excited about their pregnancy, even going as far as naming the baby. However, she claims his attitude changed, leading to denial of the child, influenced by his new relationship. It seems like Mr. Hayes' excitement dropped faster than my Wi-Fi signal during a storm, leaving everyone questioning his next move. The drama escalates in the next scene. You won't believe what's coming.
You claim he was excited during your pregnancy, named your baby, but now denies him because he has a new girlfriend.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Hayes, you say you've always doubted paternity of Maurice Jr.
Yes.
And you're just trying to do the right thing by signing the birth certificate. You now say he's not yours and you want the plaintiff to change his name when the paternity test proves he's not your junior.
The plot thickens dramatically here. Mr. Hayes expresses his long-standing doubts about being the biological father of Maurice Jr., despite having signed the birth certificate. He attributes his actions to trying to do the right thing, but now desires a paternity test and name change for the child if proven not his. It's like he's trying to return a sweater he wore for a year because it suddenly doesn't fit his style anymore. You'll be on the edge of your seat with what happens next.
He's not doing nothing for Maurice Jr. He barely does for Mariah. Like, for instance, on Christmas, he brought Mariah 5 presents. Didn't bring Maurice Jr. nothing.
For Christmas?
Yes.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Is that true, Mr. Hayes?
No, ma'am, she's telling a lie, Your Honor. I bought actually 6 gifts. I gave him 1.
This moment will leave you speechless. An unusual moment occurs when Mr. Hayes mentions not having experienced certain symptoms he had during the pregnancy of their first child together, which he interpreted as doubt regarding his paternity of Maurice Jr. Honestly, it sounds like he's confusing baby making with the flu, where symptoms might give you a hint. Brace yourself. The following twist is something else.
Like, you know, craving. I can't wait.
When your
When she was
girlfriend's pregnant the first time, when she's pregnant the first time, you gain weight, but this time you didn't have the same symptoms. You didn't eat, you didn't have any craving, and you believe it was because it wasn't your child.
Yes, sir.
You won't see this coming. Ms. Chapman presents a pamphlet highlighting the consequences of signing a birth certificate without certainty of paternity, emphasizing the legal implications Mr. Hayes faces. It's almost like she's saying, read the fine print before you leap, a lesson Mr. Hayes might learn the hard way. Much like accidentally using permanent marker on a whiteboard, the next piece of evidence changes everything. Watch closely.
If either parent has any doubts about who the father is, no forms should be signed.
I was just trying to be a good guy, Your Honor.
You're acknowledging you saw this pamphlet.
Yes, ma'am. She explained all that to me. I was just trying to be a good guy
2
to her.
weeks. He said he waited till the baby was 2 weeks, said the baby not here. That paper say 60 days. Why did he not write them?
The intrigue deepens with this discovery. Further doubts are introduced when Mr. Hayes mentions seeing another man leaving Ms. Chapman's residence, adding to his suspicions about the child's paternity. This new twist turns the drama up to 11 as Mr. Hayes squints his eyes, claiming his detective skills are second only to Sherlock Holmes, if Sherlock spent more time in domestic disputes than solving mysteries. As the plot unfolds, the next revelation will shock you even more.
I seen another guy coming out the house. So when I walked into the door, I explained to her, I asked her, I said, who is that guy? She say, that's my daddy friend. Your dad don't hang around young dude. So she say, they just work together. It ain't nothing. But the whole time, it was the same guy that's constantly calling my phone and telling me, hey, your baby mama this and that, your baby mama this and that. And
a heated argument arises over the material support, shoes and clothes provided for the children, which Judge Lake dismisses as irrelevant compared to the need for a stable and loving father figure. Meanwhile, in a plot twist no one saw coming, the shoes in question turn out to be limited edition sneakers, causing a brief yet passionate sidebar debate on their resale value. The room buzzed with anticipation for the next revelation.
Let's get this clear. What shoe?
Pumas, you mean we buy her Jordans?
Yeah, Pumas and
Jordans,
Jordans.
Air Force One.
White Air Force One, baby. I never saw no white Air Force One or black Air Force One. And the one that I bought it by my pocket.
All right, it's nothing that on my last nerve more than people talking about what designer shoe a baby has and they don't even have a daddy.
Ms. Chapman sets a condition that Mr. Hayes cannot see their older child unless he also takes Maurice Jr., leading to a discussion on fairness and responsibility. In a moment of pure sitcom potential, Mr. Hayes wonders aloud if he could possibly handle 2 kids at once, envisioning a future filled with double the dad jokes and twice the chaos. And if you're intrigued by that, just wait until you hear what happens next.
So, Ms. Chapman, you've created a condition. He cannot see Mariah, the older child, unless he also take Maurice Jr.
Yes, because he will come and give Mariah things, take her, but leave him with broken promise. It don't matter why he promised you, I'm gonna come back and get him, I'm gonna come back and get you, Dad.
In a twist worthy of a daytime TV drama, the big envelope is finally opened. Drum roll, please. And the paternity test results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Hayes, you are not the father.
That's fine. He can have his name back. Yeah, I took out through all that, but did I not tell you I was with somebody else? Did I not say that? Not with nobody else, but.
Before we start getting silly to save face, the point is, it's not his child.
Okay.